Wow, it's the first week of March. I can see my breath. So the first thing I'm going to do in the wagon now is make a fire. So there's a lot of just slack time on the wagon where you're right. You light a lantern, get the fire going. And it just kind of makes you think about the passage of time and where you're headed. On this trip, we're in Oriental now. And on most wagon trips, I simply head out, which is kind of hard to explain to people. But I always say it's a little bit like the seagull. The seagull doesn't file a flight plan. The seagull just leaves. When the barometer makes a certain twitch, if it goes high, maybe they fly out to sea. It goes low, they come inland, and they might go land on a field that's being plowed to look for worms or critters to eat. I work by about the same whims. Okay, hello.
See any?
Nah, I'm not a white cotton glove kind of guy. Come on, visit. Her name is Polly.
Polly.
Give her a slice of bread. Yeah, just lay it flat like that. The internal barometer inside me has risen, and it's just time to go.
Well, good luck.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thanks, have a good week. But it's just like the bird, like the fish. Time to hitch up Polly to the wagon and go. When people see a guy walking up the road, it strikes this iconic part of all our hearts, especially in the States, because that's like a sign of westward expansion, the man, the mule, and the wagon. Check it out, yeah, we're rambling. And so the reality is a little bit different. And as I was traveling up the highway, have a good one. The cars passing me at 60 as I was going at 2. Every time one passed, you get this whoosh, and it pushes your wagon forward. And it made me realize, you know, in the 3 or 4 generations, we've gone from 2-mile-an-hour travel to 60-mile-an-hour travel. Being able to shed that speed bubble, it really lets you look and see and smell and hear things that you ordinarily wouldn't. You can smell the earth, which I don't smell when I'm in my pickup truck. I just don't get that sensory immersion. I also don't get there as quickly when I'm in the wagon. Many of us tend to be as independent as possible. We're kind of self-centered creatures. To have a mule to travel with, it really drags you out of that. Because I need to put the mule up every night somewhere. I meet all kinds of people. Hey, I was going to bring it up and get some water. I've visited Virgil 2 or 3 times now. Oh, I'm good. I'm good, Virgil. You can smell like the sweat and the oils and the dander after they've worked. It gives off this just really rich, horsey smell. And she'll only roll on one side at a time. It's like clockwork. I just love this part of the day. There, a little shake. Excellent, that's the ritual. As I travel, I can pick up little pieces of the community I'm going through. Virgil had given us these pieces of wood, and it becomes part of my wagon, part of my body. Cooking with this wood, and then you heat with it. Virgil gave us some water. So pretty soon, you're becoming a sum total of all the parts of the communities that you're traveling through. My traveling wagon life is about other people's lives coming into my life. It's really neat to see that people still have this generosity, be able to give something of themselves to help another person along. And so that's how that transition starts, you know, transitioning into other people's yards, their lives, their stories, their thoughts.
Got in commercial fishing, that's what my father did. That's all I wanted to do, and that's all I've ever done. In the summer, we'd fish off the Massachusetts coast and all, and in the fall of the year, we'd come back down, work in New Jersey, and then come on down to Hampton, Virginia, and then on back to Carolina. Back when I started doing it, you worked on boats, you built your own nets.
So tell me just about life on those shrimp boats, because it must have been hard.
You had no conveniences, no bathroom, shower. You'd lay in your bunks, and them bunks about 36 inches wide or what have you, and sometimes you'd wake up and they'd be right wet where you'd sweated in there. Well, it was about like you in your mule and buggy.
Yeah, but you see, I think I've got it made though, Virgil. The uncooperative mule. Come on, mule. It's kind of fun to see as the trip progresses. And gradually over time, a trip will develop its own flavor, its own rhythm, its own identity. You just have to step out and go. You just have to start. And it's impossible to predict that magic.
You want to get good mule mileage today, you're going to have a tailwind.
Yes!
I'm glad I've not got to go with it.
See you next year.
What a sight. Wish him well on his travels.
We've got probably a 25-knot low front coming through on us. It's blowing so hard from the back that the wagon is pushing Polly, the mule, up the highway. So it's pretty remarkable conditions to see in eastern North Carolina. Oh, well, hello!
Y'all getting along all right?
Yeah, we're out rambling.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's blowing a gale out here.
Yes, it is.
Y'all be careful.
When you see a day like that, that's when you're glad that you've got, a little wood stove, and a good solid-headed mule. I go with a mule in the wagon, I'm forced to go through pretty much all conditions. Damn dog, there's always one. Come on, that damn mutt. I mean, I've been through downtown Chattanooga and was told, no, it's a terrible place to go, don't go there with a mule. No problem at all. I don't shy away from that. I don't shy away from other people's fears. Because that's what someone else is afraid of. 4 or 5 generations ago, people traveled through extraordinary weathers. They didn't have good foul weather gear. They just did it. I think we've lost this kind of rhythmic capacity just to grind away one foot after the next. You have to become the mule. The mule doesn't complain. The mule doesn't know it's wet. The mule doesn't know it's cold. The mule just walks. I guess I get a charge out of doing it, so I just walk like Polly. It's all fine to say how tough you are and how, gamey you are, but at the end of the day, you want a place to take a break and lay down and just tune out. And most of that night, just the wind, it just kept blowing. Just blowing itself out. Then it goes away and it's a beautiful day, a blue sky. So this is winter, the fields dormant, the potato rows resting between harvests. The soil is black and loose and crusted with a veneer of dormant stalks and weeds. This is agricultural limbo.
My father-in-law lives right up the road and said, what in the world's going on down there at your old grain bins? There's a man with a mule and a covered wagon. You don't get that call a lot, so the reason I hopped in the truck to come check it out. Look at the little bit of wood stove. You got it made, man.
Climb in, turn around, and look at it. Boy,
I seen one of them wood stoves in a van one time, just like that.
yeah, I built this one out of like a box beam.
Yeah.
Because I've traveled through this country a lot, but I've never been inside a grain bin.
Right? I've never hold the door so it will not open. So it's pretty simple.
So what year do you think this one was put up?
Probably the 60s. And the door keeps swinging open, and and I came up to shut the door, and it sort of swung open, and a bobcat ran right out there and ran. A big bobcat. I was like, whoa.
2 or 3 years ago, I was coming up the road with Paulie into Aurora, and I see this guy. He was walking so energetically, it looked like he was running. And he said, "Come on, you got a place to stay?" "No, come on, stay with us." And it turns out he's just an amazing musician. So play me another. Last time we visited, you played the fishing song.
Oh, the fishing song. Oh, yeah. Pulling the net all my days, it seems to suit my life. Dragging along the bottom, not much catch in sight. Well, I don't know much else to do. Pulling and jogging. All I ask for is just enough to keep me off the bottom.
To give you a sense of how far we've traveled in the last 3 days, we left Oriental, came to Mayboro, then we went to Hoboken, and ended up in Aurora, and that's right at 40 miles. One of the things that fascinates me about traveling is
Step in there with him.
kind of this
Yeah.
invisible magnet that just sucks people in.
So he went from where'd he come from with the mule?
And these are people who took time out of their speeding days
Yeah, I'm bringing y'all precipitation, man.
that actually stopped their vehicles and walked over and visited
Driving him down the highway.
Oh, yeah.
and added something to our day.
Don't let the bobcat get you.
I think when I show up in a wagon, people are like, "He's doing it. He's running away like we dream of doing." I think a lot of them think I'd be happy if I could do that. Having said that, I have very few volunteers that come along. So our actions, it's incredible. We've all seen it. They impact other people. There's a chain reaction to that. It's just so hard to ever predict how you'll affect somebody.
Polly the penguin loves to play. She slips and slides every day.
If you want to see a kid freak out, show her, him or her a mule.
That's where Polly likes to go. I see something out the window.
If they'd been a boat, it'd have capsized it because they all ran to that side of the
Oh,
room.
it's Bernie and Polly.
I felt like one of the Beatles. 1, 2, 3. Wow, well done. The question is, do I live in the wagon? I do live in the wagon when I'm traveling. So there's a little wood stove there, so you can like cook in there and sleep in there. So I live there on the road, and then when I'm not traveling, I have a home, up in the mountains. I think my sense of adventure has just been chemically ingrained. I think it's just the way my brain is wired. I'm sure a neurologist could analyze it, a behavioral psychotherapist could tell you what all was going on. But there is this connection, this visceral feel to the land that you are tapped into as you walk across it with a mule. And I would mourn not being able to do that.